Welcome back to Photoshop Basics on Psdtuts Plus. I'm Martin Perhiniak, and in this tutorial I'm going to talk about how to select hair, which I think is the most difficult selection that you will come across when you work with digital images. So let's try to change the background on this image. And as I said in previous tutorials, to make a proper selection you need to combine the selection tools in Photoshop. I will first start with the magic eraser tool, but before I start using the eraser tool, I will create a duplicate layer quickly by right-clicking on this layer and choose duplicate layer. That is a second version now, and I turn off the background layer now. I will use this tool under the eraser tool. There is the magic eraser tool, so I select that, and with that I will just simply click on the background a couple of times until I get rid of these patches from the background. The only problem with the magic eraser tool is that it deletes the background elements. So to make a mask from this, you need to command or control click on the thumbnail of this layer where we erase the details. So I control click on that and then turn back on the other layer with the original background, select that layer and go to your masks panel and choose add a pixel mask option. That will save the changes what you created with the magic eraser tool into a mask. And then you can just simply delete the layer, the original layer. You don't need that anymore. Now you can refine your mask by alt-clicking on the mask thumbnail and using your brush tool to draw over these little leftovers to get rid of them completely. Like this. And maybe even some parts here close to the edges. Like this. And as you can see, we have a fairly good selection around the hair and a very good selection on the other edges. Now if I alt click again on the mask, we can switch back to normal view, and I will now go to my mask edge option. After I selected the mask thumbnail, I go to mask edge and I will check on a black background my selection. Now you can see it's far from perfect. We need to make it much better, but thanks to the smart radius option in the refine mask and increasing the radius, we can quickly get a much better result on the hair. I will increase the radius up to around 50 pixels, and now you can see it did a really good job. If I turn off the adjustments by clicking here on show original, this was before and this is after. Much better than the original one, but we can still use the shift edge option and the decontaminate colors to make it even better. Now I zoom a little bit closer and see now before and after. You can use the P key on the keyboard to see before and after quickly. So this is after and it's much better. Also around the edges here, this is before and this is after. So now I will click on OK and it creates a new layer for me. I can even delete the original layer with the original mask if I don't want to use it. So I will do that now. I delete it and I put a new layer in the background and I will fill that with black just to see what we did. The only problem is here on the top where we don't have hair, and in this case, because this is a really nice curved shape, I will use my pen tool with a path mode and I will click again to create a curve here, and then I click here to create a symmetrical shape, and I will close this path and then I right click and create a selection from this path. All these things are covered in previous episodes, so if you would like to see how I did this, you can check the episode on pen tool. But now I have the selection, I can select my mask for the layer and choose my brush tool with a white color, and I draw over the edges here. Because I have the selection, I will only make changes inside the selection like this. I can get rid of my selection now, and I can maybe do a little bit change here, but now we have a really nice selection on the top of the head. So we can see before using the pen tool and after using the pen tool. Again, by combining the selection tools, we could make a really nice selection. And if I now shift click on the mask, this was before and this is after. And now I can put anything in the background. And even if I want to refine the edges, I can always select the mask and I can always use the brush tool. For example, here, I will quickly refine this part by drawing over it with a soft edge brush, like this. If you want to learn more about selections, then stay tuned and come back next time when I'm going to talk about using color range to make selections, which is also a really powerful tool, and I really like to use it whenever I need to make more complicated selections. So, thanks a lot for your attention again, and see you next time.